All right, day 5. We get the input, which is split into 2 parts. First part are rules, second parts are updates. A rule has 2 numbers, which indicates the order, so 75 needs to be before 13. And some of these updates will break rules, so we should filter out the ones that break rules and then sum the middle number of the ones that do not break it. Day 5. Start by getting the data. Okay, then we need to get all the lines, and then we need to split that on empty line. So we can create a split, which would be lines, iterate over them. No, needs to be split, and then line is empty. We should split it, and then we collect that, and then we can just get the 2 parts. So the rules would be located in the first part, and we can iterate over that and then just map it to a rule. We do that exactly like we did in previous days. We would just create a split and then just do next to get the 2 numbers. So line, we split it on the pipe, and then we want to return the split next, unwrap it, and then parse it, because that's a string, and we want to parse it to a usize, and need to unwrap that also. So that would be the first number, and then we get the second number, and then we just collect that, and so this would be a backup rules, so just usize tuple, and we do basically the same thing for the updates, but this should be a and so a backup numbers, and then here we instead we should map this to, so this is a string like that, and we want it to be a list of numbers instead. So split it on comma, map each string to a number, and then collect that, and that needs to be unwrapped. Now it's correct. Okay, so and then we just want to get the sum of the middle number in each update, but we want to filter out the ones that are not correct. So sum would be updates, iterate over that, then filter, and we get the update, and we can just return true for now, and then just map, and then get the middle number. So it would be just length divided by 2, and then just sum that. And that needs to be a U size. Okay. And then we need to write this filter. And so what we want to do is or the way I did it was I loop over each combination. So 7547 and then 7561 and 7553, and then just check that they conform to the rules. And there's a crate called itertools that allows us to do that really easily. So we can just do update and iterate over that, and then we want all combinations too, and then we need to map that combination, because that will give an array. So it's just easier if we map that to a tuple instead. I think this is not necessary. And then we need to check if any of these combinations break the rules. So we just do any, and then we get the numbers as a tuple x and y. So we want to check if xy breaks a rule. So then we just iterate over the rules and check any, and we get the rule, and we check if rule 1 is equal to x and rule 0 is equal to y, then that would break the rule. So x and 0 equal to y. And if so, it's complaining because yes, should be like that, right? No, this is a U size, X is a reference, so like that, yes. And then run it, we get 135, but we should get 143, and that's because now we actually get all of the ones that are breaking rules, and so we just want to do the opposite. So 143, that is correct, and so then we can get the real input. 4905. 4905. All right, so that was part 1. Now part 2, we instead want to find the updates that are breaking rules, and then we need to make them be in the correct order, and then take the middle number. And it turns out that there's only one order that is correct. Yeah, that's just good to know. In the filter, we do that instead. And then for each update, we want to sort them into the correct order. And so we can just do the same thing as we do here, but instead when we find a rule that breaks, we just swap those indices. Just like if we have the example data, if 47 should be before 75, for example, we just swap them. We just do another map here, and then we have here, and now we want to sort this, so we actually have to read this into memory, I'm just gonna take the update and just clone it and then return it. And then here we should sort it. We just copy that, and then instead of doing Annie here and Annie here, we can do find here, and then we will get because this will now be a bool, right? But if we do find here instead, that won't work because this is Annie, but that will actually return that rule instead. What we would want to do would be like a filter map and then do next, but there's a function that does that in one go, and it's called find map. Find map. So, like, go to the documentation. It says find map is the same thing as doing filter map and then next. We do the find there and then a find map here, and then we will get an option of usize. So we can just do while we find this, and we get first and the second index. So while this is true, yes, it's correct. Then we just swap 0 and 1. And why is it complaining? Oh, because it needs... should be like that, right? I don't understand. Just do value. Okay. And then we run that, we get a panic because here we are returning the rule, but what we actually want to return is the index of those. So we can do a map here. We get the rule, and then we want to update and find the position of so we don't reuse. Unwrap it should be, of course. It's not an iterator. And then same thing, but for second one. And now it says we should do that, right? Yes. And now these are no longer references. Then this is slower. 6204. 6204. I think it still runs pretty fast in release mode. Yeah. Alright, obviously not the fastest way to do this, but correct.